What if you could track your company's revenue, profit, and future growth all in one dashboard? In this video, we will build a complete finance dashboard in Power BI, just like real companies use. By the end, you will not only build this dashboard, but also understand profit margins and forecasting, two of the most important business concepts. So before jumping into Power BI, let's understand the business problems. Every company wants to answer three key questions: how much they are earning, are they making any profits, and what will happen in the future. And this dashboard will answer all three. Now, before start building the dashboard, let's understand the data we are working with. So this is our finance data set, and it represents a company's sales and financial performance across different regions, product and time. Now here first we have our date column, which gives us our time data. Now we get our geographical data from this region column, the product data from category and product column. And the financial data basically consists of the revenue, the cost, the profit, and quantities for volume analysis. So this combination allows us to analyze not just sales, but profitability and efficiency. Now let's quickly load this data in Power BI. So here I will just import the Excel file, select the file, click on open. Let's first check if the data is correct or not. So before importing the file, always make sure all the data types of all the columns are correct, especially the date and the numeric columns. So here we see that the date column is correct over here, and all of our numeric columns are also correct with correct data type. And once this is done, you can also check if the data is clean or not. So you can just go to each and every column and check if there are any nulls, any blanks, or any different value in the columns. So our data is already clean. So I will just import this data. Now here in data view, we can see our data. And now we will create the core financial measures. So what I will do, I will create measures to calculate the profit, quantity, revenue, and cost. So in order to create the measures, I will be creating a new table, and I will maintain all the measures in separate table only. So I will click on this enter data. I will name this table as measure. Click on load. Now I will add all my measures over here. Click on new measure. I will name it as total cost equals to sum of cost. And once my one of the measure is created, I will just delete this column 1. And now I will add other measures as well. Same for the quantity. Similarly for profit. And now we have to calculate the most important KPI, which is profit margin. So profit margin is basically calculated by dividing profit by revenue. I will name it as profit margin. And here I will be using divide total profit by total revenue. And I will just convert it into percentage. Now this profit margin tells us how efficient the business is, not just how much it sells. So it becomes a very important KPI to monitor. Now all of our measures are ready. Now we can start creating our visuals. So first of all, always remember to add all the KPIs at the top over here. So we will start adding KPIs here. And for that, I will be just using simple cards. So here I'm not able to see any cards. So what I will do, I will just click on this 3 dots, click on restore default visuals, click on OK. So this is our simple card. I will just add it over here. And I will start adding the KPIs one by one. First, I will add my total revenue. Then I will add my total cost, my total profit, and lastly, my profit margin. So these are our KPIs. Now we need to start adding our visuals as well. So first we will be creating a trend chart to see the trend of our revenue. And for that I will be using a line chart. And here on x-axis I will just add the date. And from date I will only add the date values. Why I am not adding month here? Because in our data set, if you will see that we are only having data for a single month, which is Jan 2024. So for that, adding months won't make any sense. So in order to see the trends, I will be using day. And in y-axis, I will add total revenue. So you can see the trend of our revenue over the entire January month. And in this way, we can track growth trends over time. Now let's create another chart for profit by category. So for that, I will be using a donut chart. And here in legend, I will add product category, and in values, I will be adding total profit. And this tells us which category is most profitable. And from here, we can see that electronics is the most profitable category. Now let's analyze revenue by region. So for that, I will be using a simple column chart. On the x-axis, I will be adding a region, and on y-axis, total revenue measure. And in this way, we can see that which region contributes most to our revenue, and North region is the one contributing the most. Now, we will be doing something different. We will be adding a scatter plot chart to identify correlation between profit and revenue. So here we can ask a question something like that. Are we making profit only from high revenue products? So for that, I will be adding a scatter chart. On the x-axis, I will add revenue. And here I won't be using the measure. I will be using the simple column. And on y-axis, I will be adding your profit. So here by default, you can see that our revenue and profit have been added. So we don't need to summarize here. So what I will do, I will just click on this arrow and click on don't summarize. Similarly for the profit as well. And here we can see the some patterns over here. Now you can see that all these dots are also exceeding our visual canvas, which is here. So what I will do, I will just adjust the minimum and the maximum value for both x and y axis. So for that, I will go to format visual, click on the x axis, and here you can type the maximum and the minimum value. And here in x axis, we are having the revenue. And if we go to our data view, for the revenue, the minimum value is 10,000 and the maximum is 54,000. But we can't write that as a static value. And in order to make it dynamic, what we can do, we can create some measures. So what I will do, I will create a minimum and a maximum measure for our revenue column. So I will go to these three dots, click on new measure, and I will create a minimum revenue measure equals to minimum of revenue. And whenever I will be calculating any minimum value, I will just subtract 2000 from it because it will give me some additional space for my analysis. And I will just call it here. Click on OK. Similarly, for maximum, I will do the same. And here I will add the 2000. And again, I will call it here. And now same for the profit as well. I will add the profit here as well on the y-axis. So here in this scatter plot, we can easily see that there is a linear pattern. For every high revenue sales, I'm having a high profit as well. So there is a direct correlation between revenue and profit. If my revenue is high, the profit also is high. And you can also do some other formattings over here. You can adjust the marker size, the circles from here. And you can do some other formattings as well. Now here I would also like to add some legend. So in legend, what I will do, I will add our product category. So it gets easily bifurcated between electronics, furniture and office supplies. So here we can see for office supplies, we are generally having lower revenue sales. And for electronics, we are having the highest revenue sales. Now let's add a new page over here and add our next visuals over here. So next I would like to calculate my top products. So for that I will be adding a bar chart. In x-axis I will add product name and in y-axis I will add the total revenue. So here I can see that my highest revenue product is laptop followed by sofa and printers. Now after this again we will do another scatter plot analysis for quantity and profit. So here I will add a scatter plot and in x-axis I will add quantity and y-axis profit. I will just not summarize both these things. And here again what I will do, I will go to y-axis and for profit I will add the measures which we created for minimum and maximum value. Minimum of profit, same for maximum of profit. And again here I will add product category in legend. And here if we see this chart, we can see that as my quantity is increasing, my profit is not increasing. So there is no direct relationship between my quantity and profit. So based on the sales data, we can see that for my low quantity sales only, I have generated some highest profits. And most of my profits has only been generated in the category of electronics. As you can see here, light blue color more. And thus we can say that high sales volume doesn't always mean high profits. So I will just keep this visual over here. Now let's add another donut chart to analyze revenue by product category. So here in legends, I will add product category and in value, I will add total revenue. And here we can see that electronics has given us the highest revenue sales. Now we will be learning about one of the most important concepts, which is forecasting in sales. So here, what we will do, we will predict some future sales based on the historical sales. So for that, I will be simply adding the line chart which we created. So this is our line chart and I will add forecasting in this chart. So in order to do so, what you have to do is, beside this format pane, you also have the option to analyze. And here below, you have an option for forecast. You just have to on this. So here you can see this trend which is in gray color. And whenever you will hover on this, you can see the forecast value as well as a upper bound and a lower bound. This gray area is the limit for that. And here by default, it is showing us forecast for next 10 days. Because in our sales data, we are only having data from 1st to 30th Jan. And for the next 10 days, it is giving me the forecast value. And if you want to change that, you can go to this forecast option. And here you can see the forecast length, which is 10. You can even make it 15 and click on apply. So it will give you for next 15. And in this way, you can also do some other formatting changes over here. You can do some formatting changes for this line. So you can make this line much thicker. If you want, you can have a dashed or dotted line as well. I will just keep it solid. And you can also explore all the other formatting options as well. And this forecasting helps to predict future revenue trends based on all the historical data. Now our dashboard is ready, but let's enhance the UI of this dashboard. So I will just quickly add all the formatting changes to all these visuals. After doing all the formatting, the UI changes, adding the slicers, giving the dashboard a title. This is the final finance dashboard and it looks something like this. This is our second page for product analysis and forecasting. Now, let's see what key insights we have generated from this dashboard. So, in this dashboard, we can see that electronics generates the highest revenue. And when it comes to region, North is the region with the highest revenue, and West is the region with the least revenue. And we also find out that there is a direct correlation between revenue and profit. Higher the revenue, higher the profit. And one more thing I have observed here, you can see for electronics, my profit margin is 29.64. For office supplies is 28.74 and for furniture it's 31.73. So for furniture I am having the highest profit margin. And here also we found out that there is no such correlation between profit and quantity. And we find out that laptop and sofa are my highest selling products. And this is the forecasting which we did here for analyzing the revenue for my future 15 days. And based on the insights, we can have these recommendations. We can focus on high margin products, improve low performing regions, and optimize our pricing strategies. This is not just a dashboard, it's a complete financial decision making tool. If you want real world Power BI projects like this, subscribe to the channel. And next, I will show you how to build even more advanced dashboards using dynamic techniques.